students, welcome back to English class. In the previous class, we had discussed the one act play, The Never Never Nest. Let's go through the text in detail. Jack and Jill are a young couple. They live in a well furnished house at New Hampstead. Aunt Jane pays a visit to their house. She is pleased to see their house and beautiful furniture. Jack and Jill have all modern comforts. They have a radiogram, a car, a refrigerator, and a piano. Aunt Jane is very much impressed by their standard of living. They call their house a little nest. Jack tells Aunt Jane that all their comforts are due to her. Aunt Jane does not understand how her nephew owns all these comforts. She had presented the couple a check of only 200 as wedding gift. It surprises Aunt Jane how they could afford to pay the rent for such a beautiful house. Jack tells her that he doesn't pay the rent, he actually owns the house. Aunt Jane is astonished to hear it. Jack explains to his aunt that they have purchased the house on installments. He tells her that living in a rented house was very expensive. They had to pay only £10 in cash and a few quarterly installments to be able to live in the house which would eventually be theirs. Aunt Jane thinks that Jack must be earning a lot to maintain a big house. Jack modestly tells Aunt Jane that he had a 5-shilling rise last year. Aunt Jane is eager to know if the car belonged to him. Jack replies that he owned its steering wheel, one tire, and 2 cylinders. It was also bought on installments. They could enjoy the pleasures of motoring for a mere £5. Jack discloses that every item of comfort in the house had been purchased on installments. Jack says that in fact he owned only one leg of the furniture, the rest of the money could be paid in easy installments. Hearing this, Aunt Jane refuses to sit in the sofa. She thinks that the sofa doesn't belong to Jack. Aunt Jane questions Jack about his earnings. Let's read the textbook. The Never Never Nest, Scene 1. The launch of Jack and Jill's villa at New Hampstead. The essential furniture consists of a table on which are writing materials and 2 chairs. As the curtain raises, the lounge is empty. But Jack and Jill come immediately, followed by Aunt Jane. Jill. And this is the lounge. Aunt Jane. Charming, charming. Such a cozy little room and such pretty. Jack modestly. We like it, you know. Handy place to sit in and listen to the radiogram. Aunt Jane, oh, have you got a radiogram as well as a car and a piano? Jack, why, of course, Aunt Jane, you simply must have a radio set nowadays. Jill, and it's so nice for me when Jack's away at business. I even make him move into the kitchen so that I can listen to it while I cook. Jack, sit down, Aunt Jane. You must be tired and we've shown you everything now. Jill, what do you think of our little nest, Aunt Jane? Aunt Jane, I think it's wonderful, my dears. The furniture and the car and the piano and the refrigerator and the radio. What's it? It's wonderful, really wonderful. Jack, and we owe it all to you. Aunt Jane, yes, Jack, that is what's worrying me. Jack, worrying you, Aunt Jane? Aunt Jane, yes, that check I gave you for your wedding present, it was only £200, wasn't it? I didn't put 2000 by mistake. Jill, why no, Aunt Jane? What on earth made you think that? Aunt Jane relieved. Well, that's all right, but I still don't altogether understand. This house, it's very lovely, but doesn't it cost a great deal for rent? Jack, rent? Oh no, we don't pay rent. Aunt Jane, but Jack, if you don't pay rent, you'll get turned out into the street, and that would never do. You have Jill and the baby to think of now, you know. Jack, no, no, Aunt Jane, you misunderstood me. We don't pay rent because the house is ours. Aunt Jane, yours? Jill, why? Yes, you just pay £10 and it's yours. Jack, you see, Aunt Jane, we realized how economic it is. to go on paying rent year after year when you can buy and enjoy a home of your own for £10 and a few quarterly payments, of course. Why be Mr. Tenant when you can be Mr. Owner? Oh, Jane, I see, yes, that's something in it. Even so, you must be getting on very well to keep up a place like this. Jill, oh, he is, Aunt Jane. Why, only last year he had a 5 shilling rise. Didn't you, Jack? Jack modestly, of course, that was nothing. Really, I am expecting 10 this Christmas. Aunt Jane suddenly, Jack, I've just thought of something. That car, is it yours? Jill, of course it's ours. Aunt Jane, all yours? Jack, well, no, not exactly all. Aunt Jane, how much of it? Jill, oh, I should say the steering wheel and one of the tires and about two of the cylinders. But don't you see, that's the wonderful thing about it. Aunt Jane, I don't see anything wonderful about it, Jill. But there is, Aunt Jane. You see, although we could never buy a car outright, we can enjoy all the pleasures of motoring for a mere £5 down. Aunt Jane, and the rest by easy installments, I suppose. Jill, exactly. Aunt Jane, exactly. And what about the radio? What's it? Jack, well, that's the Aunt Jane and the piano. Jill, well, of course, Aunt Jane and the furniture. Jack, I am afraid so. Aunt Jane, I suppose all of you on is this leg. She points to one. Jill, well, no, as a matter of fact, it's that one. She points to another. Aunt Jane, and the rest belongs to Mr. Sage, I suppose. Jill, yes. Aunt Jane, well, I'm not going to sit on Mr. Sage's part of any one. She stands up. Now tell me, how much do all these installments come to? So, students, the rest of the story is in the next video.